Hello everyone, I am Shivam Banka and I'll be going through this management case study interview. The purpose of this video is to present how a management case study interview goes and what is expected of you. The video is divided into two parts. In the first part, I'll go through the interview and present my understanding of it. And the second part, I'll analyze the interview as a whole. So let's begin. Also, all the text you see, all the text with the blue background is the statements by the interviewer, and all the text with the white background and blue text is statements by the candidate. Let's begin. We are having an interview today which is called Lease Fee. It goes like this. Your client is a private company in the United States that leases a jet. The lease contract is soon expiring and the company wants to renew the contract. The client now contracted contacted you and asked you to find ways to reduce the lease amount. The current amount is 1 million. How can the company lower it? That's an interesting case. Okay, just before I go ahead, the first statement, as I've said before, is always the most important one in a case study interview. It gives you a bracket in which you have to work in. And what do you have here? So a client is a private company in United States, okay, and it leases jet. The lease contract expiring soon, and the company wants to renew it. Uh, the client now contacted to you and asked you to find ways to reduce the lease amount. The current amount is 1 million. How can you lower? Uh, how can the company lower it? So who exactly is our client? Our client is not the leasing company. Our client is the company who actually leases jet from other one. So we have to work with a company who's about to lease a jet or renew a contract of leasing with another company. Okay. Uh, yeah. So we have to figure out how we can reduce the amount from 1 bill. That's an interesting case. As I understand, the client needs to find ways to reduce current amount of leasing the jet. Do I need to look into other options of buying the jet or booking of private jet during the time of use, or should I focus on the lease contract? So it's very important to clarify what bracket exactly you have to work in if you're not very much convinced about the first statement of the interviewer. So the client needs to lease the jet as per his requirement. You should look into how to lower the cost of leasing. So don't look into anything else, just figure out how to lower the cost. It's a pretty interesting case, and we don't get to see such profitability case very often. So it's a very good one. I would like to know whether the jet should be exactly the same as the jet leased under the past lease contract. Also, what is the duration of the lease contract? Excellent question. The jet leased under the new contract does not necessarily have to be the same. The current contract was for 1 year. I would like to look for two factors affecting the leasing cost. First would be a client's requirement for the jet, and the second would be the lessor and its leasing contract. Okay, so it's pretty straightforward. Okay, go ahead. I would like to deep dive into the requirements of our clients. I would like to analyze the seating capacity required by a client as well as the number of times the jet is used. What is the general occupancy of the plane over the last few years, and what is the seating capacity of the leased plane? The seating capacity of the plane is 40 and the occupancy has ranged between 8 to 10. Okay, so one way the firm can reduce the cost is by leasing a plane with lower seating capacity, considering the occupancy rate was around 10%. Um, 10% should be, if capacity is 40 and range is 8 to 10, even if you consider 8, it will be 40, 20%. Okay, but it's still at a minimum scale. That's what matters. I believe that a plane with 15 seats should be sufficient. Assuming that the occupancy rate follows a normal distribution, it is very unlikely that there will be more than 15 people in a plane at the same time. However, the case. Uh, this is the case. It is always possible for the plane to fly multiple trips. I agree. That's a great suggestion. Now, I would like to analyze the usage of the jet. I would like to know how often the lease plane is used per year. The company uses the plane 3 to 4 times per year. Okay, as we know that company uses jet only 3 to 4 times a year, do we know which months specifically the company uses the jet? I'm coming from a point that that if we know the specific months, we can lease the jet for those months only. So pretty interesting approach. Now the candidate is trying to understand whether we can go with a smaller flight and we can also lower the time which the company leases the flight, which is less than 1 year to specific months where the flight is used because it's just used 3 to 4 times per year. Uh, okay, fair question, fair suggestion. But generally, industry has minimum of 1 year of leasing contract, and the client doesn't have fixed months when the jet is required. Okay, another suggestion because of the lower usage can be that the company could possibly share the plane with another firm. The sharing of cost would then result in substantial cost saving. This might result in complications in case both companies require the plane at the same time. That is true. The companies would hence have to establish a stringent contracts regarding the usage of the plane. Good point. Now, I would like to analyze the lesser and the contract. I would like to look into different lessors available to our client and how the length of leasing contract will affect the cost. What is what is the what is that our client relationship with the lesser? Okay, what is the our client relationship with the lesser, and are there other lessors who have better pricing with similar services? Client has been leasing the jet from the same lessor from the past 7 years and trust him with quality. He doesn't want to look for other lessors. Okay, so as the current leasing contract is just 1 year, the company could hence opt for contract with a longer period. This should provide the firm with a discount. Good suggestion. As you can see in the graph, the leasing price per year in the initial contract is 1 million per year. The total price for the contract with the duration of 5 years is 4.2 million. And what what would be the cost saving for the firm if they switch the contract with the longer leasing period? The cost saving would be 1.6. The cost saving would be 800,000 for 5 years. Yeah, the numbers are pretty messed up, but there is a substantial cost saving. Excellent suggestions. It was nice interacting with you. So this is very different from typical profitability uh, case study interview. In this, you have to think on your feet of what exactly would be a possible options for the company to reduce cost. So certain things you can look into generally when you buy things in bulk or for longer duration, you get a paid discount in it. So you can apply that principle where you can lease for more than 1 year since the client has been leasing for 7 years uh, continuously. It can extend it for 5 years since he is a regular usage user of the uh, plane. Other concepts which are explored, can we specify where exactly is the need of the client and then uh, tune our contract only to justify those needs such as leasing for particular months, um, sharing the plane when the plane is not being used. Some of the concept didn't work, but it's very important to come up with those ideas and then have a conversation with the interviewer where whether these concepts are applicable in our client's case or not. That shows you can think on your feet and think exhaustively of what all can be the case, uh, which can which can help our client reduce the leasing amount. So it was pretty interesting interview, and let's analyze the case as a whole. Leasing fee. Client is a private company in the United States that leases a jet. The lease contract is soon expiring, and the company wants to renew the contract. The client now contacted you and asked you to find ways to reduce the lease amount. Okay. Yeah, it's also very important to maintain good notes and good structure on your rough sheet given to you, because sometimes at the end of the interview, the interviewer might ask for that, and he should be able to get everything with just one glance. So it's very important to have minimal statements and well structured rough sheet too. Interview notes. The jet needs jet the jet need not be the exact same as leased under the present contract. Assume occupancy follows a normal distribution and will rarely exceed 15 passengers. Look into the requirements of the jet, and the duration of the lease can be modified to reduce cost. Okay, exactly. So you have to exactly look into these two areas to figure out how to reduce cost. What is the exact requirement for the jet, and how much duration can be modified to reduce cost. Case facts. Case facts. The current lease fee is $1 million. The contract duration is 1 year. Seating capacity is 40. Occupancies range from 8 to 10. The company uses the lease jet 3 to 4 times per month. Okay, it's 3 to 4 times per month. Or was it per year? It was 3 to 4 times per year. Okay. Sorry, the information is not very accurate, but you get the gist of it. The contract has been renewed for the last 7 years. Let's see what was the approach framework used. So goal was to lower the leasing fees, and then for that we have to look into two things. One is what is the exact client requirement, and the other is what is the lessors and the leasing contract we can modify uh, to reduce the amount. So the client requirement is seating capacity and frequency of use. Since the seating requirements was less, we could actually opt for a lower seat plane. And in this side, lessor and leasing contract. So there is new lessor with lower rate, which our client is not willing to explore since they have a good relationship with this one. And then increasing contract duration was one of the ways we could go to reduce the amount, since the rates for booking for a longer durations are lower than 1 year booking. Okay, so type of contract, short and long, is 1 year and 5 years. So total cost is 1 million, and total cost is 4.2 million. Cost per year is 1 million, and cost per year is 4.2 means 0.84. Cost savings per year is okay. So per year, you save 160,000 dollars. My bad. In the interview, I read it as 1.6 million, but it was $160,000. So, which is quite accurate. Per year, you save this much amount, and that is how you can reduce the total amount. One also possible is to opt for a lower flight, and that will also result in a different amount, which will be lower than the 40 capacity thing. Okay, so what are the recommendations and some suggestions? So, in recommendations, the lease plane with lower seating capacity, since the plane hardly ever is used at max capacity, smaller plane can be leased. Share the lease contract with another party. Stringent contracts need to be established regarding usage. Increase contract duration. A longer contract duration should result in discount. Fair enough. All the valid recommendations. Observations and suggestions. Conduct a feasibility analysis of the options recommended wherever possible. If the feasibility analysis is not possible, mention the caveats associated with your recommendation, and structure the recommendation, and do not give a laundry list of suggestions. Very interesting suggestions if you have to take notes. It's really important that we just don't pick suggestions here and there and throw it at the interview. We actually perform, say it in a very structured approach. The second one is also very important to have a feasibility analysis. And if it's not possible, mention the caveats associated with the recommendation. So you also mention what are the things which needs to happen uh, to make this suggestion a reality. So if that also shows that you are thinking uh, on realistic terms rather than just superficial terms. And yeah, conduct a feasibility analysis of options whenever possible. So yeah, definitely do that in an interview. And I hope you guys learned a lot. And I'll be uploading one video every day of a case study interview. So if you want to get into practice of learning a case study and you're looking a career in consulting, it's a very good habit to form that you watch one video every day of a case study interview. And hope you guys liked it and have a nice day. So also do subscribe to the channel since you won't miss out of any new uploads I'll do every day. Okay, have a nice day.